Cavaliers have looked like the best team in the NBA 10 games into the season. They haven't lost once yet, have started the season out 10-0, and have dominated on both sides of the ball when they have played. Last night, they got their best win of the season, destroying the Golden State Warriors, going out to a lead as big as 41 points in the first half. They were truly dominant all night long, and this has just been a microcosm of how good the Cleveland Cavaliers have been so far this season. At the root of it all has been new head coach Kenny Atkinson. After losing in the second round to the Boston Celtics last year, Cleveland decided to fire former head coach JB Bickerstaff and hire the Golden State assistant. And it has turned out to be a great hire so far. Atkinson has been pushing the pace so much more in Cleveland. Bickerstaff's teams were usually one of the slowest teams pace-wise in the league. That has not been the case for the Cavaliers at all so far this season. They are 6th in the league in pace of play. They have been moving the ball around so much more, and it has led to their offense being absolutely spectacular to start the season. This season, Cleveland has been the best offense in the entire NBA. They have been moving the ball around tremendously. They've been getting their scoring from a bunch of different players, and not only have they been getting it from a bunch of different players, but they've been extremely efficient while doing it. They are 1st in the league in field goal percentage, 1st in the league in three-point percentage, and they have the highest offensive rating along with points per game in the entire league. They have looked just spectacular even when their bench guys come in. A bunch of different players have been able to lead to this great start for Cleveland, and what's been so interesting about it is it hasn't been a superstar just going crazy. This actually, Donovan Mitchell has had his stats drop from seasons of past. He's only averaging 22 and a half points right now, which is down from his 26 and a half last year. And that's not saying Mitchell is playing bad by any stretch of the imagination. He hasn't been. His efficiencies have been down a little bit, but all around he's still been playing some really solid basketball. It's just been more of Cleveland's depth and their others stepping up and playing some fantastic basketball at the moment. Let's talk about the guys around Donovan Mitchell who have been doing so well on the offensive end. Let's start off with Darius Garland, who has been having a bounce-back season so far this year. After last season, he talked about how he really wasn't enjoying basketball, especially after his injury, and it's so great seeing him energetic on the court again. You can tell he's so happy to be out there once again, and he's been tremendous to start the season off. He's averaging above 20 points per game right now. He's been extremely efficient, and he's had some great games against, teams like Milwaukee, whereas he's completely carried the Cavaliers down the stretch to victory. And seeing him back in his All-Star 2022 form is so fun to see, and not only is it fun to see, it's so integral to Cleveland's success. He opens up their offense so much because he's so crafty out there. His decision making, his shot, his moves, he opens up Cleveland's offense so much when that shot is falling. And not only that, their big men of Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen have both been off to great starts to the season on both sides of the ball. I'll talk about their defense a little later and specifically talk about their offense, but Evan Mobley's been having an efficient start to the season, averaging just around 18 points per game, and Jarrett Allen is averaging over 14 points of his own, and they've both been extremely efficient to start this season off as well. Both of them have been playing some of their best basketball of their careers to start the year. Even been able to start 10-0 without one of their usual starters. Max Strus is still out. He hasn't played yet. Cleveland's been putting Dean Wade in there, who's been solid, nothing spectacular, but nothing, terrible either. It's really been Cleveland's bench that has also done great. Caris LeVert, he's played 8 of the 10 games, and he has been off to an insanely efficient start to the season. He's shooting 58% from the field right now. He's in double figures on the year, averaging around 12 points per game, and the unsung, unexpected hero has been Ty Jerome. Nobody really expected anything out of him coming into this season, and He's been one of the best backup point guards in the league. He's averaging double figures right now. He's been passing the ball and moving it around tremendously. And not only that, he's been extremely efficient from the field to start out the season as well. Cleveland has been able to not only get great production from their starters, but have 2-3 really strong depth pieces. Isaac Okoro's been playing well on the defensive side of the ball, and once Dean Wade and Sam Merrill get back into this bench role, this could be a fantastic bench, one of the best in the entire league. Also been an integral part to Cleveland winning is the fact that they have also been one of the best defenses in the entire league as well. They're sixth in defensive rating, which for those who don't know, that's the amount of points they allow per 100 possessions. Cleveland is near the best of the league at that. They stop teams really well. They force turnovers. They are really good at stopping teams inside the paint with both Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. Those are two great down low rim protectors who are really good at patrolling the paint. The only issue with Cleveland so far this year has been their coverage of the long ball. They actually are near the bottom of the league in opponent three-point percentage. It's been their one flaw so far this year, but outside of that, their defense forces turnovers. It's really good at forcing bad shots in the paint. They run out, which helps them get better shots in transition. The defense has been leading to offense. The offense has been leading to confidence on the defensive side of the ball. The scheming's been great. The wins have been pretty strong for the most part. They've been winning games by double figures, been winning them pretty handily. And all around, Cleveland has been off to just a fantastic start to the season. I know I've been saying fantastic a lot, but that's just one way to put it. They're 10-0 right now. They've been dominating teams left and right now. The only what seems to be big concern for most NBA fans is their lack of strength in schedule right now. They've only had, I'd say, 2-3 really good wins. The Knicks have been okay to start the year out. The Lakers was a pretty good win. Golden State last night was by far their biggest win of the year, and now everybody's really starting to give Cleveland credit. I started giving it to them a few games earlier, but they have been playing tremendous ball, but they do have 2 wins against Milwaukee, who's been off to a bad start to the year, and one of them are without Giannis. They did play a hurt New Orleans team in a win. They did play a Orlando team without Paolo Banchero. They've played the Wizards. They've played the Pistons. They've played the Raptors. They have played a lot of bottom feeder teams, but you have to play what teams are in front of you in my eyes, and they've done a great job at that. And not only have they played the teams in front of them, they've beaten them handily. They're near the top of the league in net rating. But now they've played good teams, and they've destroyed them. They just beat Golden State, who everybody had been crowning one of the best teams in the Western Conference. And don't get me wrong, they've been off to a spectacular start to the season as well. But Cleveland literally manhandled them in the first half. Just made a complete statement to the entire league of, oh, you think we're frauds? Oh, okay, we're going to take these guys down and absolutely crush them. And they did exactly that. They made a fantastic game plan to just catch fire against the Golden State, who had also been one of the best defenses in the league so far. They had also been stopping them really well. Just overall, Cleveland with that big statement win, it puts them at 10-0, and they have been this great. It's why I've made this video. These guys deserve love from a lot of fans. They are currently Boston's biggest threat in the Eastern Conference. In fact, they're the only other above 500 team in the Eastern Conference. Yes, the East is something right now, but this team deserves the love that it gets. One of my big issues with the Cavaliers last year was I was not a JB Bickerstaff guy, especially when you've got guys like Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland. You should be playing at a faster pace, and they've finally done that this year, and their offense looks night and day compared to what it was last year, and that, in my eyes, is what makes them actually for real this time around, unlike years past where they got to the playoffs and then were an early exit. They barely beat Orlando last year and then got crushed by Boston. The year before that, they got crushed by New York. This team has not had a bunch of playoff success despite the amount of talent that they have had, and I think that there is a very good chance that they change that this year, especially with how weak the Eastern Conference is, especially with how good they are playing right now. I get it. It's 10 games into the year. There's an 82-game season, and a lot can happen from the beginning, middle of November to early to mid-April. But Caps fans should be excited about this team. They play great, smart basketball, and I can confidently say that they're going to be one of, if not Boston's biggest threat to head to the championship early on in the year. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that Cleveland's for real, or is this just another year where they're going to be a regular season pretender in your eyes? Enjoyed the video. If you watched to the end of this, thank you. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. God bless, and I will be back tomorrow to talk about the NBA.